Rolls Royce has grown 30% in the last month, and in this video we're going to have a quick look at the reasons why and what the future might hold. There is one really interesting development that has made me even more bullish on this business than I was before. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I read and reply to every single one. This morning the stock hit a 5-month high and broke through the 120 pence barrier. Many people have seen this as a resistance point, and if you actually look at the stock over the last 12 months, since the crash, it's only actually broken through this point twice. Now don't forget, for my American friends, we are talking about ticker symbol RR here, based on the London Stock Exchange. You might know this as RYCEY from the New York Stock Exchange, so it's going to have slightly different charts and numbers, so bear that in mind. Here's my holding then. I've got 435 shares and I've averaged in at a price of 102 pence. That puts me at about 17% up, just under 17% up. My target sale price for this stock is 100%. Now I did do a video recently, actually it was a couple of months ago, on why I believe this business will return 100% in the next 12 months. I'll put a link to it here, but that's my target sale price at the moment. Now that may change if the fundamentals change, if something specific changes within this business. It may reduce or it may go up. I may even look to turn this into a long-term hold. At the moment this is a relatively medium to short-term hold for me. So why has the price gone up so much? First off, JP Morgan have reassessed their valuation of this business and they've got a new price target of 130 pence. That's up from 105 pence. They believe that the business is undervalued versus its competitive set and has currently been trading at around 70% of its competitors. It has also been reported in the last few weeks that the group is set to sell off its Spanish arm. That's a unit called ITP Aero, and that could generate around 1.5 billion pounds worth of cash, and obviously that would significantly help with cash flow, which they are desperately in need of at the moment. The real reason the share price has increased so much has not actually been covered that much, which I don't really understand, because it's absolutely glaring as far as I'm concerned, and has actually given me real reason to be confident about that 100% return inside 12 months that I mentioned. So on August the 5th, Rolls Royce released their half-year statement. The headline of this statement and defining their two most important areas of focus were to deliver on financial priorities and looking forward to a lower carbon future. So for me, it makes absolute sense that these should be the two things that they should be focusing on. So we've covered their sustainability credentials previously, and they're looking towards their electrification of aeroplanes, but it's the latter that I want to focus on today, and it's around the finances. First things first, they needed to trim some of the fat. So they've been undertaking a massive cost reduction exercise. They're targeting 1 billion quid to be taken out in terms of cost in the business in 2021, and the report declared that they're well on target in terms of trying to achieve that. But the main thing that I want to focus on today is their underlying profit, which is up to 307 million quid. This is up from a massive 1.6 billion loss in 2020 H1. This is a massive turnaround, and it's massively important. The business has gone from a 1.6 billion loss to being in profit and making 300 million pounds worth of cash. Now air traffic is still at only 75% of what it was pre-pandemic, so to be able to turn that round from that loss to that gain inside 12 months, and even considering the first 6 months of this year, a number of countries were still in lockdown, a number of countries were still not allowing flights in and out, that's a fantastic return. So this hasn't been referenced really massively in the report that JP Morgan did, but it has to be a massive contributor to why they've upped their target price. Another one to cover, and it's worth bearing in mind, is that a large revenue stream of Rolls-Royce cash comes from defense. Now with increased tensions in the Middle East, that could mean a growing revenue stream. It's not something I want to dwell on, it's not something I want to say that we're going to be taking advantage of as investors, but it is something that you should be considering. There is something that's concerning me as well, so we'll come on to that in a sec. So if you haven't already, please do consider giving it one of these to the video. It really does help with the algorithm and helps me to get this message out to as many people as possible. So one thing that has disappointed me somewhat is around their net zero targets. Out of this statement, they have confirmed that they have adopted the government's 2050 net zero carbon emission targets. So I work in sustainability as part of my day job, so I do have somewhat of a professional opinion on this one. And we all know that air travel is really bad for the environment, but did you know, for example, if you send a shipment by air rather than sea, carbon emissions impact are 100-fold for air over sea. So it's significantly worse to be sending anything, people, parcels, whatever it may be, by air. So Rolls-Royce are working in a notoriously unenvironmental industry, so they should actually be leading the way given the position that they're in. Simply adopting the government's net zero carbon emission targets is not enough. They should be doing more than that. They should be looking to be more stretching than that. 2050 is nearly 30 years away, don't forget, so the damage is being done right now. It needs addressing right now, not in 30 years time. What I want to see see more from investor relations, and what I want to see more from future press releases is around how they're going to tackle this, how they're going to do it better, how they're going to be beating the market, leading the market, how they're going to be stretching those targets. We know all about the electrification of airplanes that they're working on in the background. That is some way out now. They haven't even given a timeline associated with that. So we really need them to ramp up their efforts in this area. I want to see more investment in terms of R&D in this area. I want to see more communications out to the public in terms of what they're doing, because don't forget, this is not just about the sustainability credentials of the business. Actually, it's been proven that businesses that have robust sustainability plans outperform those that do not. It has been proven that businesses that stretch their targets above the expectation of the industry, stretch their targets above the expectations of the government, outperform those that do not. So I really want to see an improvement in that area in coming press releases, and that's going to really affect my position in terms of my investment into this business. So if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. Thanks for joining me here today. I'll look forward to seeing you all again soon. Take care.